My Hemingway Books package arrived, and the package has Once Upon a Broken Heart special editions inside. So first off, we have, of course, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Now, Once Upon a Broken Heart was the first fantasy I ever read, and I think that's part of why I love it so much, apart from the fact that the story is literally amazing. So this is what the cover looks like, but that's not it. Look at those sprayed edges. These are pages. These are pages. Look at all the detail that has been put into this. And now we have... Yes! It's literally drop dead gorgeous. I am obsessed. Now I'm going to read one line from a random chapter in each book. And I chose chapter 36 for Once Upon a Broken Heart because it has a line that if you read it out of context, you're like, what? But trust me, it makes sense when you read it. Jax had once told Evangeline, there is no point in having another person commit murder if you're in the same room with them. Okay, so that was Once Upon a Broken Heart. That's just the start, because there's more. Next up is The Ballad of Never After, and again, the cover is the most gorgeous thing ever. And are you ready for the sprayed edges? 3, 2, 1, go. That is the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen, and again, these are pages from books. But it looks so perfect and so detailed. It's just so hard to imagine that these are little papers and not like an actual flat paper. Then we open it up, and we have this. That is literally so gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I'm in love.
Ooh, this is a really good line, and if you haven't read Once Upon a Broken Heart, I feel like it'll convince you to read, almost because it would make me want to know what's going on in this story.
He shoved up the edge of her sleeve to reveal one arm of Apollo's crudely carved words, I don't want to kill you. I feel like if I hadn't read Once Upon a Broken Heart and someone said that line to me, I would want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart to know what's going on. So yes, that is The Ballad of Never After. And lastly, we have A Curse for True Love. Again, look at the cover. Drop dead gorgeous. Look at the edges. Drop dead gorgeous. Look at all the detail. Look at all the detail. Like the flowers, the hearts, the little designs. It is beautiful. Beautiful. I like that the back says, may the best villain win. They all say something in the back. The Ballad of Never After says, not every love is meant to be. And Once Upon a Broken Heart says, how far would you go for happily ever after? But now, the reveal of A Curse for True Love's hardcover is, ta-da! This one is my favorite one of the hardcovers because I just love how the colors look together, and I think it's also the design. It is just gorgeous. The line for A Curse for True Love is, Evangeline just had to survive the carriage ride. It was only one carriage ride, the last carriage ride. And this is what they all look like together. These are not just books, this is artwork. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and follow.